Wish I could get through to you, don't know what to do to you.
Hey, what's up? It's Samara Renee. I'm giving you guys a bonus today, a bonus video, because I got some problems today and I just need to talk about it. And I've been vulnerable, and like my friends are always telling me, oh, you need to be more vulnerable on YouTube about like dating and realities. And so here I am, and it sucks, and I'm just gonna say what's going on today. Like the past couple of days I've been talking to this guy, and he has been really great. We've been having really great conversations, and today I made like one silly joke about a podcast, and I made a joke and he cut me off. And I mean, we've been having very intense, detailed conversations about like our lives and what we want, and sharing things that I don't share with anybody, right? And one of the things that we talked about, like us both wanting, is a person that we could just talk to, and even if it's like really difficult conversations, being able to sit down and talk about them. And this guy just writes me this short message and was just like, you know, basically, you know, like, I'm not that type of person, and you know, I think we shouldn't talk anymore, and like, good luck on your search. And then he blocks me on the dating app, he blocks my cell phone, and I'm like, you don't even like try to have a conversation with me about it? And that's it? It wasn't even like a bad joke. It wasn't even that bad of a joke. It's like, that's the thing that just kills me. So like, I'm just like, out of all the conversations that we had over the past couple of days, I'm like, for you to like behave in that manner is just crazy. So I mean, I just had to get my point across, and so I called. I know my phone was blocked, so I called. I used another phone that I have, and I left the message, and that was it. And it was just another confirmation of all the hard stuff that I've been through in relationships for the past several years, and why I've been by myself for 6 years. And it sucks. You know, it's not fun. And, you know, a lot of people, they're on dating apps to have fun and to hook up or whatever. And I'm not that person, right? I'm looking for something specific. And I had it on my heart to update my profile and be very specific about the type of person I was looking for. And I was getting no hits at all. And then I ended up coming across this guy's profile, and it sounded good, right? And I was like, okay, you know, but then I kept putting it off, and I was like, yeah, well, you know, where he lives isn't ideal. But then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like it, and I'm just gonna keep moving, and then see if I can find like somebody closer I can date. And then he ended up responding and sent me like a really nice note. And so then that's when the conversations began. So online dating is not fun. I think dating in general, in particular in your 40s, I think there's just more writing on it. And so I'll be honest, I sobbed because I was so upset. And I kind of had like a really good, and I'm not a person, I'm not a crier, I don't cry all the time. I don't cry over like certain movies or whatever. But I mean, I sobbed. And I think it was because I dared myself to have hope again. And there's just a point in time when I think a lot of like people can go through relationships or be dating, and they've just been hurt time and time and time again. And you don't want to put up with it anymore. And like, my prayer for the past couple of years to God has been, please do not put a man in front of me that, number one, I can't have, and number two, who doesn't want me. So, and it was a little bit more detailed than that, but I'm like, just don't even bother to put somebody in front of me who has everything that I would like and that in a guy that I'm searching for, and then not have them be available to me and not have them like me, because there's no point, right? So, I did have a very angry conversation with God about it, because it just didn't make sense. It didn't make sense at all. I think when you have dated and you've been looking for your person for the length of time that I've been on dating, and, I was sharing with this guy because we've both been on this dating app for a long time, and it just kills me. I said, you know what? You think you have things in common and people are on the same page with you, and then they treat you like that. They just treat you like dirt because you say one thing that they don't agree with. And it was I specifically said that a couple times in conversations with people. I said, basically, if you can't be a grown adult and talk about difficult things and be able to communicate in a respectfully, then you're not the type of person that I'd that I'd want. So it's just been a real drag, and I dared to hope, it all looked good on paper, but it's just overly sensitive, and it's just, I always just have to just get out what I need to say, and then I can move on from it. And then I'm looking back and I'm like, well, there's a couple things that were really going to be challenges that, I really had to really consider, but I thought that they were definitely doable, the things that could be worked out through time and conversation. So back to the drawing boards again. And it's not fun. I'm not happy. And, like I said, I've been crying and upset, and, I'm just wondering if there's anybody else out there that's going through this whole deal with dating, and especially in your 40s, and the types of guys and gals that you're coming across. And if you've had that experience where you've really clicked with someone, and then you do one thing that's not even a major mistake. It's just a joke, and you're dating, you're talking to someone and you don't know their personality yet. You don't know their sense of humor yet. So if it was me, if somebody said something that offended me, I would just say, hey, I just wanted to just talk about something. This is I felt A, B, and C, and I don't really vibe with that joke, and we could talk about it. And then if somebody says, well, I just think you should have more of a sense of humor. And I'm like, well, I do. It's just, that's just not my type of humor. And if they can't understand that, that's fine. But to just not talk to someone and kind of talk it through and just be through a text, oh, I'm done with you because you said one thing that offended me. It was just so cruel and mean. And I was just not expecting that. And I don't know. I should have been, but I think today I woke up this morning and I've been getting these messages from this guy, and he sends me videos, and we've been exchanging voice messages and things like that. And then I woke up this morning and I was very anxious. I was fearful, and I don't know, maybe I feel maybe my body just knows something's about to go down. Just prepare yourself. And I thought it was just work. I thought I was having major anxiety about stuff that's happening at work and how I feel about things. And, we started having these discussions this morning, and he shared some personal stuff with me. And, I got nervous about it because I'm okay, so this person's sharing this with me, super personal, but then now that means I have to show up and be vulnerable. And so for me, I'm just okay, well, I'll just say this that I've never said before, right? And I think that's the risk of being vulnerable, is that there's some people who are going to put themselves out there and they can't do the same, or they say that they want to have a relationship where they can communicate, but they don't have the tools to do that yet. And I'm not saying like you have to have those tools to be in a relationship, but you have to be open to learning that. And so anyways, yeah, I would just say I'm just yet again back to drawing boards. And you know, I haven't felt this like upset and sad. You know, I've been having a consistent sadness, kind of trying to let go of some stuff, but you know, this kind of just awoken like anguish and tears that I haven't had in a long time, and it was really upsetting. So I am gonna try to walk it off. And it's almost like when you fall off a horse, it like really hurts bad. But then I was like, okay, so I'm like crying, and I'm like, I have to get back on the dating apps because I just got to keep going. You know, I just got to keep finding out. And then back to like this guy I was talking to, like we were talking about some of our fears, and one of his fears was like being alone. You know, he was just like, I'm fearful I'm gonna be alone. And I almost feel like it was like a form of self-sabotage, maybe a little bit, of, you know, being vulnerable and revealing a lot about yourself, and then not really believing that somebody could actually like really care about you and like love you through that. And I'm probably like analyzing too much, but I'm also thinking it was like a little bit of form of self-sabotage with like how he feels about himself as well. But and then, you know, of course it just broke me open to just going back into past relationships and relationship that I've ended and that people have ended with me, and like really painful periods. It just awakens all of that again, and it just is really, really difficult. And I don't miss this. I don't miss the uncertainty. I don't miss the pain of dating and the disappointments. And a lot of people say like, you know, don't have any expectations, to be detached. But I don't think that's humanly possible. I really don't. I think everybody has some type of some type of kinship or attachment or something. And you can't help but hope. And, you know, talking with this guy about the fear of being alone, I said, yeah, I was like, was honest. I said, yeah, I have the same fear, you know, like that you're not going to find that person, and you're just going to be alone your whole life, and you're not going to be able to have a family and things like really like tough stuff to talk about. And a lot of people would probably say, well, that's not like something you should be talking about the first couple of days that you are just talking to someone new. It's just different when you're older. And when you're younger, you have time to kind of mess around and whatever, and just talk about like, what color do you like? But I just think it's just a whole different game when you're older. And when two people are looking for the same thing and we're trying to see if you'll match, you're not going to like waste a lot of time with just kind of like small talk. I'm not a small talk type of person. This guy wasn't either. Like, we were just like very much straight to the point, like, okay, like let's talk about some of these major topics. And yeah, so I think like if I really look at it, I knew there were going to be some hurdles that I would have to kind of like talk through with him. But I think I was hopeful because I was like, oh, I could at least talk to this person about it. Like, I thought I could. But anyways, so that's kind of like my life right now. And I'm just being vulnerable that dating sucks. I hate it. I hate the whole idea of dating. And I really just don't want to do this anymore. I don't. It's just painful. And there's not many people in the world that are kind of looking for the same things that I'm looking for. The people I'm attracted to aren't attracted to me. And it's just kind of like this endless game of disappointment. And it just gets old. And this is like one of my things that I hated about coming back online and dating, was that, you know, you have to go through all of this stuff and talk to a lot of people. And for me, I'm just like, my time's precious. And when I'm by myself, at least I know that don't have to worry about getting hurt and being vulnerable and people not accepting you and just so many other things, and, you know, worrying about how you look, or just a lot of things. So I'm gonna take some time and just, you know, I'm just gonna keep looking. But, you know, I've done so many things. You know, it's like, you know, you take 6 years off of dating and you would think, okay, that gives you time to kind of heal and get over things and get back on a horse. But then you have experiences like this where you just, you know, you start like peeling layers of yourself to a person, and then they just like ghost you and just are like, oh no, I'm done with you, and just kind of throw you away like trash. And I didn't appreciate that. And so I'm just gonna keep going and try not to get discouraged and just move on. So if you like have any like moments you can kind of share about like your experience, like tell me about like what dating app you're on and experience with that, and like how long it took you to get like find somebody online, like send me a message. Or if you're still going through it, just like feel free to just leave a comment. And, you know, I'll probably give you guys like another update soon, but it's just been a hard, like, you know, 2 hours. And, you know, my body always knows when things aren't going to work out. It just like, I was just been frazzled the whole day. Just like, I just felt like something was off, and I'm like, just something's just not lining up, and I'm scared. And I'm scared that this isn't going to work out. And of course it went down, and it went down quickly, and it's upsetting. So yeah, I just said what I had to say and had my meltdown. I'll probably cry some more. And then back to the old drawing board again.